Hey, what's going on? Jerry Fetta here with your weekly money clip where I give you an inside look at my wallet. I don't use a wallet, I use a money clip. That's why it's a weekly money clip. I'm going to show you what I just did with $10,000. Stay tuned to see what it is. Hey, welcome back. Jerry Fetta here again, CEO and founder of Wealth Dynamics. So welcome to this week's weekly money clip, right? So this is where I give you an inside look at my wallet. I don't use a wallet, I use a money clip. That's why we call it a weekly money clip. And so what I want to share with you today is something I recently just did with $10,000. And this is something I wanted to share because $10,000, if we really look at it, it isn't a lot of money, but it's also not a lot of money. Right? Like I would be upset if I misplaced $10,000. Do I have more than that? Absolutely. But $10,000 is an amount that, for someone that's trying to build wealth, it's a good starting point. It's plausible. It's something where I'm like, okay, good. Like that's an average target most people can get to. If you're high income, high net worth, no problem. If you're an average ordinary person, getting up to that 10,000 in something that's, liquid savings, not a retirement asset that you want to put into assets like gold, silver, real estate, etc. Sometimes that can be some work, right? And so I wanted to do this video today because I feel like everyone can relate to this, right? So I do a lot of different investing, a lot of different stuff with my assets. Recently, what I started the process for on about $10,000 to start is something called a equity indexed annuity, right? Now, I want to explain what that is because some of you are familiar with what annuity means. Some of you might not be. The index thing, the equity index thing, I'm going to explain that as well, right? So what is an annuity? An annuity is an insurance product, right? Now, this is not like the sacred account. It's not something I'm going to borrow against and be my own banker. An annuity is an insurance product that tracks the growth of various asset classes. Right? And so what it's going to do is it's going to guarantee me against loss. There's not going to be any fees, right? If I design it correctly, it's going to give me minimal guaranteed growth no matter what, right? And in addition to that, it's going to give me upside participation on various asset classes where I can make money based on these asset classes with zero risk, right? Now, as a starting investor, I wish I would have done annuities sooner. Right? I didn't. I skipped. I did the sacred account. I skipped right into gold and silver. I skipped right into real estate. If you know my story, I invested in a fund, a couple years back, lost a significant amount of money, and I would not have had that happen had I started with an annuity. Now, I'm not telling you don't do real estate. As you know, I do a lot of seller finance real estate. I'm also not telling you don't do gold and silver. As you know, I do gold and silver, right? But I have a good friend of mine. He's a registered investment advisor, and he taught me a 3-bucket approach, right? You have your low risk money that's guaranteed against loss. So this is things like my life insurance policy. This is things like my annuity, right? I cannot lose money on these. No matter what, this is going to grow. Okay, we're looking for moderate growth on this. 3, 4, 5, 6%, pretty steady with no fees and no risk. Look what just arrived. I just got my copy of the Blueprint to Financial Freedom. Hey, enjoy the rest of the content. I don't want to interrupt you too long, but if you go to jerryfetta.com/B2F promo or click the link in the description, you can get your copy now. Now, for those of you that are like, 4, 5, 6%, that's nothing. You got to realize the S&P 500, without including fees and stuff, only does about 8% on an annual basis. Once you include fees, once you include taxes, you're down to about 2, 3, 4% of what you actually keep, right? And that's with risk involved and manipulation. So with an annuity, I don't have that. No risk. I can't lose money. Guaranteed contractually with strong insurance companies, right? We've got assets that I actually am excited about participating in. So here's why I did this annuity in particular. This is the only annuity I've ever found that allows me to put my money in gold and real estate. Right? Unheard of. Guys, I've been in the financial services industry since I was 18. I'm turning 32 in about a month here. Okay? I've never, ever seen an annuity before this one that allows me to put my money in either gold or real estate. Usually you can put it to, index to the stock market. You can allocate it to bonds, treasuries, various different aspects of Wall Street. But it's never been, hey, you can allocate towards gold or real estate. So when I saw this, I was really excited. Why? Because for someone to really win with gold, where they're going to earn good income on it from a leasing standpoint, or they're going to be able to borrow against it, they're going to need to have $30,000 around there, 35, 40 minimum, ideally more. For someone to start doing seller finance real estate, you need at least 50. Right? And so it's kind of this thing of, well, what do I do while I'm waiting? What is the in-between period? If I've got $10,000, if I've got $15,000, if I've got $20,000, or maybe I'm just older and I'm like, hey, I don't have the ability to take risk. I'm on a limited time horizon. I need to know I'm going to get 4, 5, 6% pretty easily with no risk. And this is money that I can use. The growth of it is liquid. I can have money out of it. Right? I need to know that. That's maybe for someone that's older. So I did the annuity because I wanted to fill my first bucket up. That's that no risk money, right? So I'm going to draw the buckets out for you. So this is our registered investment advisor. Him and I were having a conversation one day and he's like, hey, this is the approach you should be using, right? And so there's going to be your first bucket, right? This is your guaranteed money. You use the G word here, guaranteed, right? Money that's got no risk associated with it. That's your first bucket, okay? Your second bucket, this is going to be moderate risk, right? Moderate risk. So here, where would we have our assets here? We would have things like the sacred account. We could have things like annuities. Okay, now I don't put my money guaranteed in banks because I don't believe that banks can guarantee me my money. They guarantee me someone else's money, right? But insurance companies, they've been around forever. The ones that we use for the sacred account, the ones that we use for this annuity product, you're looking at 100, 150 year up to 200 year track record, right? Very strong companies. They're not doing the whole banking system thing. That's part of the beauty of this is you're getting outside of that system, right? Moderate risk. What are we looking at here? Here, for me, this pretty much is gold and silver. Right? Gold and silver, for me, that's moderate risk. I know how to secure it to where I've got zero storage fees. I can make least passive income on it. Plus, I can make the appreciation. And so it's something that's fairly liquid. It's not going to give me too much craziness. And it's an asset class that I understand. So I put that as my moderate bucket. My third one, this is more aggressive, right? This is going to be things like real estate and when you start getting into accredited investments. That's aggressive, right? So this is where I would do my seller finance real estate, right? So I allocate to sacred accounts. I allocate to annuities. That's my bucket number one. I allocate to bucket number two, gold and silver. I can lease it out. It's got some different aspects to it there. That's my moderate. My aggressive, seller finance real estate. That's a little more risky. Why? It's a 20-year deal. It's a 20-year mortgage, right? And there's holding costs and there's different things associated. So that's a little more on the risky side. Not as risky as stocks, not as risky as a rental property, right? But that's more on the risky side. And then my accredited stuff as well. I'm going to be doing accredited investments and things of that nature, right? Down the road when you're accredited. So the annuity, here's why I like this. I can pick between stocks, bonds, gold, or real estate, right? And here's what I love about this is I'm not a stocks guy. So for me, with my annuity, I'm putting in $10,000 to start. That's the minimum. I can always add more, right? So that's my starting contribution. I'm doing none of it to stocks. I'm not interested in stocks whatsoever. Even if there's guarantees against loss, it's not something that I support. See what I mean? It's not like, oh, I think stocks might do better than gold and real estate, so I'm gonna weight myself more towards that. No. I'm not doing stocks. Okay? I'm not really interested in bonds either. Now, I am interested in gold and real estate. So here's what I did. 50% in gold, 50% in real estate. Now, here is the beautiful thing about this annuity product, okay? My upside, I can make up to 10 to 11% in that range per year based on the performance of gold. So if gold does 6, I'm going to get 6. If gold does 7, I'm going to get 7. If gold does 3, I'm going to get 3. If gold does, 10, I'm going to get 10. Same with real estate, right? I'm going to get whatever the upside is up to this range. That's called a cap. Now, Let's say it's 10% is the cap. If gold or real estate do 20, I'm still only going to get the 10, right? So that's kind of the trade-off is it's like bowling with the bumpers on. I'm inside the lanes. I'm not going to go too far this way. I'm also not going to go too far on the growth side. 10 or 11% is still pretty good. You would agree with that, right? So if gold does a 40% year, I will still just get the 10. Now, most years gold is not doing 40%. I believe gold is a long-term asset. Same thing with real estate. I'm not trying to make 40% returns in real estate, right? I want my 8s, my 10s, my 12s pretty consistently with asset classes that I understand. So my upside is about 10 to 11%, right? I also have a guarantee. Okay, a lot of annuity products, the guarantee might be somewhere between 1 and 3%, meaning if I have a terrible year, I'm still going to get a guaranteed return, 1 to 3%, right? I can have guarantees put in, and then I can also have floors put in. The floor would be 0, right? So let's say gold does terrible. Gold has a negative 20% year, right? I lose nothing. I don't lose 20%. I get 0. Or I get a guarantee if I have a product that offers a guarantee. Now, if gold does 8, I'm going to get the 8. Same thing with real estate. Real estate crashes. We lose 10, 15% in a single year. I get 0 credited to my account. Now, this is the beautiful thing about this is you might know if you lose 10, you don't make 10 and get back to where you are, right? You need to make double that to get back to where you are. If I have $10,000 and I lose 10%, right? That's $1,000 that I've lost, right? That's $9,000. I'm down to $9,000. Now I make 10% on the $9,000. I'm not back up to $10,000 all of a sudden. I'm still behind the ball. So I've got to make more and more money when I offset losses. This product avoids losses. Now the other thing I like about this is it gives me the ability to distribute 10% per year with no penalties whatsoever, right? I can pull my cash flow out of this. If I make 10% in my annuity, I can pull the 10% out as income that year if I want to, right? Now the principal is protected, right? Which means that the principal amount, I can take 10% of my total account value. Anything beyond that is locked up till I'm 59 and a half. This is not a liquidity-based product. I'm not going to put money in here that I want to use next month, next year, or any point soon. I only want the income from it. I'm going to leave the principal alone, which you should do. If you're eating into your principal, you're doing it wrong. You should leave your principal there. Then you distribute just the income. Or I can reinvest the income, right? Here's the other beautiful thing. Annuities grow tax deferred. So I'm not paying taxes on my 10%. If I make 10% somewhere else, I'm going to pay taxes on it. I might only keep 6, 7 after I pay the taxes, right? So if I've got a tax deferred growth mechanism here, I'm keeping larger amounts, I'm reinvesting larger amounts. And of course, if I do distribute that income, it is going to be something I pay taxes on that year. I'd want to get with my CPA on that. Now, my plan personally is to let this thing ride. Okay, I'm going to put money into it each year. I can add contributions as I go. And that's something that I'll continue to build up and it'll be part of my bucket number 1. It's a conservative strategy. I know no matter what, it's gonna be there, right? Gold, I could lose money on gold. I have before, right? Real estate, I could lose money on real estate. I have before. Annuities, not gonna lose money on those. Life insurance, not gonna lose money on those. So this is really good for someone that has, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. You're not quite ready to do gold and silver yet. You're not quite ready to do real estate yet. Or like I mentioned, maybe you're a bit older and you're like, man, I want the income. I would love the idea if I can make up to 10% with 0 downside with asset classes I believe in. That's the beauty of this product. So if you want more information on this, reach out to me. You can send me a message or comment below. But this is one of the things that I'm doing. I love showing you guys with transparency what I do with my finances because so many of these gurus, they're not walking the walk. Great videos, great content. They're not showing you what they're actually doing. This is something I'm doing. Hope you enjoyed the content. Like, share, subscribe. I'll see you next time. I want to thank you for watching my video. If you learned something from this, if it was value to you, what I'd like to do is I'd actually like to give you a free copy of my book, Blueprints Financial Freedom. This is perfect for those that are on my channel learning this stuff and you want to take it to the next level. So if you go to the link jerryfetta.com, just my first and last name, jerryfetta.com/B2F promo, or click the link in the description, grab a free copy, we'll send it out to you. Can't wait to get you a copy in your hands.